You are listening to Heart Alignment, a podcast exploring nervous system healing, intimacy, emotional truth, and what it means to come back to yourself. Hello and welcome back. Let's take a couple really deep breaths. Very good. Maybe it feels good to breathe out your mouth, inhaling in through your nose. Do a little check-in. Where am I at today internally? How's my body feeling? Do I need to move and stretch? Do I need to lay down, sit up straight? Of course, if I'm operating machinery or driving a vehicle, I'm not going to be closing my eyes. But if you feel safe, allow yourself some time to rest and receive. That's one of my biggest intentions here with my podcast, is for you to build your capacity to receive goodness. Yes. All right. So today I'm pumped. I'm so on fire because there's more and more retreats coming up. There's the Tantra Festival coming up where I'm going to be. I feel so honored. I'll be hosting the opening ceremony and then the closing ceremony. And then there's a retreat in September coming up and a workshop all around the themes of empowerment, emotional resilience, truth, and living in alignment with your calling. So, yeah, I feel super good. Super, super good. And yeah, today I want to talk about emotional courage, bravery. What I want to demonstrate, what I want to lead by example with, if you want to call it that, is that if you feel safe with your own emotions and can fearlessly express them, you live a fuller life, a life more connected to yourself, but also a life more connected to the environment around you and other people. If you are so secure, and if you have built this capacity over time to feel all your feelings, you show up very differently. I love when people talk about becoming more confident and power poses and positive self-talk, which is all important too. But I believe if you, at the core, reject who you are on an emotional level, if you do not like feeling emotions that will come up regardless, emotions do not care where you're at in life and if it's convenient or not. So if you're not intimately connected to your insides, and I don't mean your organs, I mean your emotional body, then it will be very, very hard to feel good about yourself, because you will be expending more energy on trying to suppress and hide and hold back emotions than if you were to allow those emotions to come up, flood you, and then know and trust that things will pass. Tomorrow will be another day. The next hour is going to feel very, very differently. And I understand, I've been an expert of avoiding emotions for most of my 20s and beginning 30s. I understand it's very intimidating to feel your emotions. It's very uncertain at the beginning because you might be feeling all these sensations in your body and all these thoughts coming up as a result. And then you don't know when it's going to stop, how it's going to stop. You feel a little bit helpless, just like a baby feels helpless when it doesn't know when the next meal comes, when the caregiver comes to soothe you when you've been crying. And so if you apply this little image of a baby crying, not knowing when it's going to stop, not knowing how it's going to meet its needs, to your adult life, imagine a life in which you are emotionally mature, where you have the courage to encounter all emotions, no matter in which order and intensity they show up. It can be shame. It can be a sudden flush of guilt. It can be anger. It can be jealousy. It can be abandonment, if that's an emotion. Despair, hopelessness. Even good feelings, joy and love, can sometimes feel so intense, so big, that some of us, most of the time, try to minimize and suppress these quote unquote good emotions because they are just too much. So imagine building this capacity to feel it all, allow it all to come through, to not judge, to not try and control, to not suppress, to not ask your partner to caregive first. Imagine how empowered, how secure, how content you would walk on this planet. And from there, building your business, from there, nurturing your family, from there, taking care of other people in your community. But until you build emotional courage, you will struggle with your own energy levels, with your own way of coping with suppressed feelings, right? Some people get really bitter and angry, others become resentful, others become super depressed. Now I lost my thought, my train of thought here. But imagine if you were to be able to steer your own ship. And it's not about becoming overly independent from others either. You can be intradependent. But especially when it comes to your romantic relationships, you cannot expect them to be your primary caregiver. You have to love and accept your emotions first, because they will not know how to take care of yourself, because chances are they don't know how to take care of their emotions as a primary caregiver either, unless they've done extensive work on themselves already. So once you learn to build this capacity by not only sitting in emotions, but also by feeling them in your body, allowing sensations to be there that are not pleasant, and then naming emotions, right? Building emotional literacy. You will find that this shift is gonna affect you on a really, really intimate and deep level. And this in turn will change everything around you. And it's so juicy and powerful, because imagine trying to be or wanting to be intimate with your partner. And maybe in the past you would just We usually push intimacy to the very back corner when we are in crisis. That's the last thing that we want to do is procreate, right? It makes sense, evolutionary. But some people are so stressed out by life in general that intimacy and sex will always be on the back burner after the honeymoon phase, right? And so imagine if you could deal with your emotions and your stress in a new way, how intimacy would now find a place again in your life. And we can even use our sexual energy, our intimate life, to further process and integrate those difficult feelings, right? We can have rage-gasms, we can have laugh-gasms, we can have shame-gasms. We can even communicate that with our partner or not at first if it's too weird, so to say. But you can use the energy of emotion to infuse your intimate life. Of course, without hurting yourself and others. Asking for consent. And so, realizing that we, especially in North America, we live in a society that is terrified of emotions. We do everything to get out of an emotional state as fast as possible and project and suppress, and they come out in weird ways anyways. It does not make sense. It does make sense in a society, though, that suppresses emotions as a whole. You cannot be too loud and too excited and celebrate yourself too much. You cannot shout over the rooftop how awesome of a sex life you have. Like, oh my God, that would cause turmoil. That would create jealousy, or that would be too much, right? And maybe that's not, the intention, the goal that we want to set, to start shouting things out in public, but to become real with what's going on inside of you, and to be your primary caregiver, and to allow these emotions to be there and to come up. And by staying connected to your soma, your body, and staying connected to sensations that come up in connection with certain emotions, you can then learn to ease the grip of these emotions after you acknowledge and love and accept them. And who wouldn't want that? Yeah. When I get nervous, when my unworthiness kicks in and wants to take over and protect me, I can feel it in my solar plexus. I can feel that knot, that tightness right, at my upper belly there, and between my rib cage, just becomes this tight ball. And I acknowledge it. I understand what it wants. It wants me to go hide and withdraw, to protect, because that's what I needed in my past. But now when this part comes up and those sensations in my body come up, I'm choosing to breathe into that part of my body and to allow expansion to happen. And before I can do that, I have to acknowledge, this part, the unworthiness part, is coming up. It wants to protect me. It wants the best for me. Right now is not the right situation to wanting to protect me and to hide away, right? When I'm holding space for others, or, sitting in circle with people. I cannot allow this piece to run the show. I can acknowledge it, and I will give it what it needs, which is reassurance and relaxation. I use my breath. I envision a beautiful yellow, gold, white color expanding out from my upper belly. And I feel my feet grounding, my seat. And I can maybe look around me and see that, hey, there's no threat. There's no danger. Maybe I'm excited, I'm nervous, but it's more like when you turn over the key in your car, there is this little bit of extra energy that gets the car going, and that can feel intimidating. But if I breathe into it, allow it to happen, don't try to run away from it, it actually helps me to be even better at what I'm doing in holding space and hosting retreats. So dancing with those energies, allowing those feelings to come up, not trying to shy away and run away from them, but embrace them and then see what's on the other side. Ooh, so juicy, so powerful, so confidence building, if you want to talk about confidence and building your backbone. Yeah, and last I want to say is sometimes emotions can be super annoying, and sensations, right? I used to get beet red in my face when getting nervous and starting to sweat and starting to, what else was there? Stutter maybe, wanting to run away. It's super uncomfortable. I'm not saying this is an easy path, but what I'm saying is that once you choose to face this journey, you will reap the big rewards of feeling centered and peaceful and confident and secure in yourself. Yeah, being your primary caregiver, giving yourself in the moment what it is that you need, because you know what those sensations and those emotions need for reassurance. Let's take a couple really deep breaths here, letting this sink in. I think that feels complete. So much care, with so much love, so much respect for your journey. I'm gonna let you go for now, and I'll be out there very soon again. And keep those podcast episode requests coming. You know how you can reach me: social media, Aurora Eggert, The Yeared Experience, and through my website. All right, take care. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If this episode spoke to something real inside of you, you can follow the podcast, share it with someone you love, or explore more at auroraeggertcoaching.com. Take a deep breath. I'll see you in the next episode.